Hello, I'm Samantha Getch from Washington High School, and this is the first in a series of tri-school video productions featuring segments from all three Sioux Falls Public School District large high schools. Today you will see three segments that highlight the school district's new mission statement at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. Students at Washington, Roosevelt, and Lincoln High Schools prepared these segments to educate and prepare each student to succeed in a changing world, according to the Sioux Falls Public Schools System's new mission statement. That is the goal of a system that currently has nearly 20,000 students in 31 buildings being educated in some way by more than 2,700 employees in the K-12 system. I'm standing in front of the Instructional Planning Center, home to the Board of Education and the Office of the Superintendent. Behind me, they are busy updating the IPC, a project that will turn it into a center for educating students with specialized and diverse needs through the Flex and Success programs, and give administrators the state-of-the-art tools they need to educate students in a changing world. And there is no doubt that the world is changing. But exactly how do you prepare students from kindergarten through their senior year for a world that is not yet here? That is the question I asked Superintendent Pam Homan recently.
I just think it's so important that in order for our district to achieve our mission, that our parents and our staff and our students do understand our commitment to see that we are able to educate students to truly compete as they go into their adult life as very successful citizens and successful in whatever careers they may enter into. And that's our goal, is to provide that base for our students to succeed.
So far, we've confirmed that the world is changing, and the Sioux Falls School District's new mission statement is designed to help students succeed in that changing world. But how exactly is that being done? To find out, three teams of student reporters recently visited three schools representing education from K-12 in Sioux Falls. Just like these students, we will start with the elementary level. Reporter Kelsey Madsen from the News of Washington staff visited Annie Sullivan Elementary recently to talk to Principal Nancy Duncan about what the mission statement means there.
Kelsey Madsen, standing in front of Annie Sullivan Elementary, a large elementary school on the northeast side of Sioux Falls. Like all elementary schools, and indeed all public schools, Annie Sullivan works hard every day to help their students succeed in a changing world. Now, this and other Sioux Falls elementary schools have been given a directive to do just that, to educate and prepare each student to succeed in the changing world. I talked to Principal Nancy Duncan about her school's efforts to prepare students to succeed in a changing world.
I think the first thing is that we believe in the mission statement that all children will succeed, and each year we develop a school improvement plan for our school. We look at how our school is doing and how our individual students are doing in achievement, and we analyze that. We look at the data, and we actually develop strategies to help students improve. We're also looking at teacher strategies and what strategies make the difference in helping students achieve. And we're working with our teachers in professional development to give them additional tools and to support them in the work that they're doing.
What specifically is Annie Sullivan Elementary School doing to achieve the new mission statement?
Our school this year has been involved in doing a curriculum mapping project with our teachers so that we can ensure that our students receive the same, what they call a guaranteed viable curriculum, that all students receive a similar curriculum in each grade. And we also want students to know what they're learning and why they're learning, and so that we're working with teachers and students to focus on that. We want students to also learn how to get along with other people and how to respect people of all different backgrounds, because those are skills that they will need when they go out into the changing world also.
Please describe the efforts in some classrooms to help achieve the mission statement.
we have been involved, many of my teachers have been involved in the Intel project, which is a project that connects technology to education, and we this year have a smart board in one of our classrooms, and so several teachers are learning how to use the smart board as an interactive teaching tool for students, and that is to help them see the connection of technology and learning. That's one project that's been going on. Another thing you'll see happening in our classrooms is a real focus on reading and literacy skills. We expect that children should not only read at school but also should practice their reading at home, because we know that if children practice their reading, they're going to become better readers. And we expose them to all kinds of different reading, not just fiction reading but nonfiction as well, so that the kinds of reading they do are the kinds of things that they're going to need to do in adult life. It's not just learning to read a story.
How do these efforts tie in with the school's efforts to provide a basic education to all and to meet the requirements of the federal No Child Left Behind Act?
Well, we want all students to acquire the basic skills so that they can do well as they go through their schooling and also into adulthood. We also want them to learn higher level thinking skills. We want them to use technology as a tool, and so I think all the different things that we're doing help children obtain those skills.
How are parents involved in the effort to prepare students to succeed in a changing world, and how would you like them to become more involved?
We have lots of different ways parents are involved here at Annie Sullivan. Many parents volunteer in the classrooms and they work with students to read and practice different projects. We also are doing a homeschool compact this year in which we outline the responsibilities of the parent, the students, and the teacher in helping students achieve. And some of those can be as simple as making sure you have breakfast and you get enough sleep at night, because we know that those are all things that help children learn more. Parents also work on different groups, whether it be PTA or site council, and they also come to parent-teacher conferences and attend field trips and are involved in a lot of other ways. Would we like to have more parent involvement? Absolutely. I think it's incredibly important for parents to know what their children are learning at school, and that they talk about it with their children at school, or what they learned at school, so that they know what their children are learning and they support and validate the importance of school and students achieving the goals that we have set for them.
Overall, how do you feel about the new mission statement and its impact on your school?
I think it's a really good mission statement. One, it's something we can all remember and we can relate to, but it ties the importance of every child being successful, and it also validates the fact that we are in an ever-changing world, and that the things the students are learning today is not necessarily what they're going to know or need to know when they graduate, but it's more important that they learn how to learn how to get along with people, learn how to use technology, and how to apply the skills and knowledge that they're learning in whatever field that they go into in their adult life.
I also talked to Annie Sullivan teacher Christy Schreck about her efforts to educate and prepare each student to succeed in a changing world.
We're trying to provide a rounded education for the kids. We have to teach the standards, and we need to have all of them be successful, not only in their academics, but also have character and be a good person all around. We teach character counts through social studies, science, math, as well as provide guided reading groups, guided math groups, guided writing groups, so that we can help each of the kids, because they all learn in different ways. And so by providing different ways of teaching, using instruction that's more small group, more one-on-one, and full group, hopefully we can get all of the kids to become successful.
How are your students responding to these efforts?
Most of the kids are enjoying this, because if we do different types of teaching, use different strategies, we're going to hit all of them. They're not going to like all different styles of teaching. They're not going to respond all in the same way. So that's why in our ever-changing world, they have to be flexible. They have to be able to move and to be flexible too with the way things are taught. Because especially with fifth graders, when they're going on to middle school, and even kids moving on to the next grade, they're going to have to be able to change to the new teacher's expectations. And that's the way it is in the real world too.
Overall, how do you feel about the new mission statement and its impact on your school?
I feel that the new mission statement is easier for students to understand, so when teachers are trying to explain this is why we're teaching you this way and this is what our goal is to help you become prepared for the real world, because the question always comes up, why do we have to know this? What's this for? So we can tell them that when you get out into the real world, this is going to be important. And I think we get parents on board with us as well, because they understand what our mission statement is. It's very clear. We're going to prepare each of the kids so that they can succeed when they get out into the real world, not just today, not just while they're in our classroom, but forever.
Predicting what the world of tomorrow will be like and what elementary students need to know in order to succeed in an unpredictable future is difficult. Administrators like Nancy Duncan are working hard in conjunction with their teachers, parents, and students to do their best, however, to make sure students are prepared. Reporting from Annie Sullivan Elementary School for the Now at WHS staff, I'm Kelsey Madsen.
Thank you, Kelsey. Our journey to a changing world is not done yet, however. Next, we will be moving on to the city's newest middle school, Memorial. Reporter Abby Heitzman and other members of the Roosevelt High School On the Beat staff visited Memorial recently, where they talked to Principal Carrie Aaron along with teachers and students about how the new mission statement impacts them.
Hi, I'm Abby Hitzman here at Memorial Middle School interviewing Principal Carrie Aaron about the mission statement. How are you and teachers at the middle school level working to achieve the mission statement of the Sioux Falls School District?
Well, it's a pretty big mission statement, educating each student to succeed in a changing world. We are not only talking about curriculum and learning reading and math and technology, but it's also being healthy. It's also how to take care of themselves in the future. There are so many things that we have to teach about how to learn and how to relearn something, because we don't know what kind of jobs kids are going to have 10, 20 years from now. So a lot of emphasis is being made in different curricular areas to think about strategies as well as content area, and that's a big focus actually at all the levels.
What kinds of life skills do the students learn in middle school?
This is a prime place for life skills. It really is. We think that it's important that kids learn how to work together. That's one of the things that we hear from the business community, is that they not only want to have employees that are proficient in their skills, but they also need to be able to work with diverse groups. We want them to learn how to take care of themselves. Like I mentioned before, the fact is that if you don't take care of your body, and you're not a healthy person, any amount of learning isn't going to do you a whole lot of good.
How are the middle school teachers helping students become proficient in all the content areas, especially those that are part of the No Child Left Behind?
Well, each student that hasn't gotten quite to that proficiency level yet, we have a special plan for. And part of that plan has to do with special classes that we offer during the school day. We also have help sessions that happen before and after school. We have skill sessions that happen where it's not just homework help, but it's working on basic skills. There are a lot of things that are that the teachers are spending quite a bit of time at the middle school level, dealing with how they teach a subject, which is going to make it easier for the kids, not just the content, but how it is that we're doing it.
Right. Overall, do you feel the students are prepared for their next step in school?
I really think so. I think that's one of the commitments that we make to the kids when they come into 6th grade, is to say, we want you to be prepared for high school. And of course, a 6th grader at the beginning of the year thinks that's light years away. We know how fast that time goes. So the thing that we try to emphasize with the kids is that every year, it doesn't matter if you're 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, we're trying to take that next step. We want to make sure that by the time you leave our doors, you're 100% ready.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brooke Olson. And I'm Teddy Tedman. Today we are talking to Memorial Middle School teachers about how they are working to implement the Sioux Falls School District's mission statement. We also talked to them about how they're preparing students for success beyond middle school. I'm here with Peggy Hubbell at Memorial Middle School. What class do you teach here?
I teach 7th grade science and 7th grade reading.
Okay, as a middle school teacher, how do you help students prepare for different things in a changing world?
Well, I try and emphasize the importance of staying organized. Oftentimes we clean binders. I tell them how to keep an organized binder, where to put their papers. I also try and give them skills, social skills. When they get a new lab partner, they have different ways of introducing themselves to their lab partners and telling a little bit about themselves.
Okay. How do you help students become proficient in all the areas that are now in the new implemented No Child Left Behind Act?
Teaching reading, we work a lot on reading strategies and comprehension, and I try and focus on one of the standards each month. And in science class, I do a lot of mathematics. We do a lot of graphing calculators, graphing and interpreting data. So I try and incorporate math whenever I can.
Okay, and then what life skills would you say are important for students to take away from middle school?
I think knowing how to be accountable for yourself and to others is a life skill that a lot of kids aren't learning and should. I also think staying on top of things, staying organized, because oftentimes it isn't necessarily how bright you are, it's how organized you are. And a third one is being able to talk to others. I think they need those skills to be successful.
And what classes do you teach, Ms. Cummins?
I teach humanities and journalism in the middle school at 8th grade level.
And how do you, as a middle school teacher, help students succeed in a changing world?
A lot of the things that we do in class basically teach responsibility and dependability. It teaches kids the value of following directions and learning that there's a huge world out there beyond Sioux Falls that is open to them and that has a lot to teach them. Our history, the people that came before us, the music, the art, everything can teach us something.
And how do you help students become proficient in all areas, especially those listed under the No Child Left Behind Act?
Well, we're really pushing students in reading and math, as usual, really trying to get those scores up. We saw a great increase last year in our scores. And as far as in the content area, we do reading, we do math, and it's a lot of times not specifically chosen for that day. I don't just come out and say, okay, you're going to learn math today. We basically interweave it in all my different things that we do, whether it be, talking about the sizes of artworks and measuring the differences, or the dates of composers' lives, and how many pieces of music they could have composed, how many days it take them to compose this or whatever. And so I think that everybody is aware of the standards. We're very aware of them all the time, as are the kids, and I really see them working hard towards it too. So it's just kind of become a school-wide effort in all classes, not just in any typical reading or math. We all do it now, as you probably know too, right?
Right. What would you say is the importance of developing both academic and 21st century life skills while you're in middle school?
I think that they go hand in hand. That the world is changing so quickly for you guys. Yeah, I love technology, but it can also be a detriment if it's used wrong. And so I think with kids, because I love to teach it and we learn a lot through it, I love the fact that I can have an artistic picture at my fingertips through the internet, but I also want the kids to understand the problems that can come with the 21st century technology.
Students at the middle school level are working to achieve the goals set forth in the district's mission statement by learning a variety of academic and life skills. I'm here with 8th grader Tom Dockery. Do you think you'd be prepared for high school right now?
I would think so, because they've been preparing us here at middle school for the last 2.5 years.
So what kind of things have you done to prepare, have your teachers done to prepare you for high school?
They've given us more assignments and made sure we get them done on time. And they're checking our assignment notebooks to make sure that we fill them out.
Teaching us more things about, like, in social studies, we're doing history and stuff like that on Revolutionary War and stuff like that.
Yeah, they always make us fill out our assignment notebooks and stuff, and they're now starting. So if we don't have assignments in on time, they don't even take them. It used to be you get 50%.
Soon, Tom, Andrew, and Peter, the 3 middle school students you just met, will be moving on. The transition from middle school to high school can be an exciting and taxing time, just like the transition into the future we all face. Reporter Amanda Bradshaw from the Owl TV staff at Lincoln High School took to the halls at her own building to see how the school district's new mission statement is making an impact there.
Everyone remembers the difficulties they faced during high school. Making the choice to attend class, balancing the obligations of school and social activities, and finding the time to complete the painstaking task of everyday homework. Although most students see through this time of discovery and growth, there are a few who just seem to get lost in the web. Hi, I'm Amanda Bradshaw, and I've talked to both the administration and students at Lincoln High School to examine the different programs provided to help those students who have fallen behind.
At Lincoln High School, we have a dropout rate of right around 2% each year. That can go from students who are, when they turn 16, they drop out, all the way to students who are even 18, and at the last minute in their senior year, they decide to drop out. Truancy, students who don't come every day, is a big red flag to us. Kids who don't come and are truant when they're in 9th grade and 10th grade, man, we're on top of it right away. We know from past experience that if we can get a student through their 9th and 10th grade year, we have a really good shot of getting them their high school diploma. Because the 9th and 10th grade year sometimes is a really tough transition for students who are maybe, not really believing that 4 years of high school is what you need to do to get a high school diploma. That, you really do have to pass a class to get a credit. And we've got a number of students who just kind of mess around their 9th grade and 10th grade year, and then they wake up when they're a junior, and they say, geez, I've only got 4 or 5 credits, and I've got to get to 22, so what do I do? To try to help our students who maybe aren't being as successful as they are, we have a couple of programs that we've got in place. For 9th graders, we've got one of my English teachers. We take about 60 9th graders and we put them with this English teacher. So they've got English with her and a study hall. And these are students who maybe just need a little extra support. They need somebody who kind of helps nag them a little bit, helps them stay organized, and maybe kind of mothers them along a little bit. So that's one little program we've got. We have the PATS program then in the Learning Center, where a student can go for 2 hours a day and try to get caught up. We work in packets. We've got 2 teachers who work with them, and we try to see if we can't get their credits caught up as fast as we possibly can. I have a success coordinator, Mr. Novak, at the building, and he kind of keeps tabs on lots of different kids.
Well, my name is Todd Novak, and I'm the success coordinator at Lincoln High School. Programming at Lincoln High School, probably the one that I'm the most excited about, although there are a number of them, is the PATS program, which is up in the Learning Center. And the concept behind it is to be that midpoint between Lincoln High School and Joe Foss. And what we found is that there was a group of kids that we were sending to Joe Foss that were failing. They would get over to Joe Foss and they would just fall apart. They wouldn't get anything done. We found out that the packets were not something that was good for them. We also had a group of kids that were here at Lincoln that needed the structure that we have at Lincoln High School in order to be successful. But they also were kids that needed at least part of their day to be in a packet. And so it was a nice fit for a number of different kids. And I think that was a very helpful kind of point where kids could go and then they could decide whether they wanted to recommit to Lincoln High School or whether they could decide, you know what, I can do packets and I'm ready to do that. And we were then able to transition them beyond that. So I think that's one of the best programs that we have. With an improvement in that programming, I think that had an effect. It wasn't the only effect on lowering our numbers. Since the history of Lincoln High School, we've had pretty high numbers compared to the other schools with Joe Foss referrals. And I really wanted to get on top of that because I knew that not all of those were ones that were kids who were being successful. And so this was one of the things. And last year was our first year out of first place. And really, it's not that we don't want to send students over there. It's that we want to be sure that we're sending the right students over there for the right reasons.
Well, I think a lot of students get themselves in a situation credit-wise where they get frustrated and they feel like they're not going to make it and they think about dropping out. I would say a great number of those students, if I had to go back and identify one specific event that started them on that road to being a dropout, just about every kid it ties into attendance. But by being here every day and turning in your work every day, you're going to gain the skills you need to be successful doing the tests and doing the quizzes, and you're going to make it. So by far, getting students to school is the key, and it is the hardest thing with some of these students.
Started about freshman year when I was hanging out with friends. We'd stay out late, and we'd just go to school the next day and just sleep. Ended up failing classes, and once I talked to my mom about playing basketball, they wouldn't let me play because of my grades. When I went to the counselors, they talked about how I can try and go to Joe Foss and go to school there, but that wasn't really an approach I was trying to take. It was more of like a athletics thing where I could start playing basketball again. When you're in the PATS program, it's something similar to Joe Foss, where you do packets, and after you finish a packet, you can try and go on to the next class you either failed or want to take. Without the PATS program, I don't think anybody could come back from what they've missed from freshman year. Yeah, I'm real happy I did it because now like I said, I'm going to graduate now, and it's all good.
It was pretty much my freshman and sophomore year that I was failing. Nobody really could have motivated me at the time. I mean, my mom was always on my case about it. And yeah, I had some teachers that were cool and did care, but when I went to the counselor's office, my mom, I think, set up the meeting. They pretty much just had like a plan of how many credits I did have, what I could do, told me I pretty much need to take summer school. It's all up to the student pretty much. If you don't want to learn, no matter what anybody does for you, you're not really going to succeed in anything. And I guess that's just something every person has to figure out for themselves. I mean, everybody takes their own path in life.
I started having problems actually my freshman year, but that was just kind of more or less getting adjusted to school. But like my actual real problems started junior year. I was introduced to the Learning Center because I was having problems like with my classes, like failing them. Mr. Novak and Mr. Hawkinson recommended me to the Learning Center so then I could catch up on all the classes that I failed previously. I've done probably about 3 classes in there since last year, second semester. I'm going to be graduating with a couple more credits than I need, and I get out of school early, so it did help me out a lot.
It really does come down to having a student in their own heart believe that they can turn it around. Because if a student believes they want to drop out, there's not a thing myself or a counselor or a parent can say to them to make that turn around.
Well, that concludes Lincoln's section of the Tri-School Project. I'm Amanda Bradshaw. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Amanda. There is no doubt that the Sioux Falls School District is doing all it can to educate and prepare each student to succeed in a changing world. You have seen how this is being done at just 3 of the district schools. Today, all Sioux Falls School District employees are working together to achieve a single goal, inspired by that new mission statement and under the leadership of new Superintendent Pam Homan. Hopefully, this is what it will take to truly prepare each student to succeed in the changing world of tomorrow. For the teams from Washington, Roosevelt, and Lincoln High Schools, I am Samantha Gretsch from the News of Washington staff. Thank you for watching.